So if you don't know who this is, you've had your head in a sack for about the last 20 years. This is Will Cheung. Hello, Will.
How you doing?
I'm very well, thanks. And Will is part of the whole Bright Publishing team as well now. So we've got the old Adam's old magazine, digital SLR users, now digital SLR, the beginner, etc., the starting point. Will, you're now doing advanced.
Absolutely.
Which is a new title, is it
yes.
not?
We're 4 issues into it. Fifth issue went to press the other day. It's going really well. We've had some really good feedback at this particular show. In fact, I've been threatened at this show, amazingly. I mean, I used to get threatened on other magazines when people say to me, this is rubbish, this is bad, improve this. At this show, I've had people come to me and say, this magazine, you do not change it. It is so good. Keep it going. Keep the design look. It's amazing. It's wonderful.
Wow, that's really cool.
Really good feedback.
Yeah, that's brilliant. So who is your audience? Who are you catering for? Who are your readers?
Well, I suppose the title Advanced Photography is very Ron Seelman's approach, and it's actually, that's who we're aiming at. We're aiming at the enthusiast who actually is passionate about taking pictures, but actually doesn't aspire to earn money. It's not about earning money, it's about enjoying your passion and indulging yourself. So that's who I'm aiming at. So these people are a little more experienced, that's what I like to think anyway. They've already read some of the magazines already, they've done Practical and Digital Camera Magazine, but they want a bit more in-depth about some core techniques which are quite innovative perhaps, as well as traditional techniques too. I'm desperately trying not to repeat myself. That's something I've said to myself. I'm not going to do, for instance, autumn every November. I'm not going to travel every June and July. I'm concentrating on techniques.
Yes.
And we've got lots of reviews in there as well of products that a lot of magazines don't cover. For instance, we've just done something on extreme ND filters. And we've done something quite in depth about it, as opposed to, by the way, you can buy these.
You can buy a big stopper from Lee or something.
Yeah, so now actually we've gone big stopper, B+W, Lightcraft Workshop, and actually tested them. So we're trying to be a bit more in depth about what we do.
I think it's a great. I think it's a great idea. I think it's a great idea for a title as well. And also, what you said, I think, is key. About it's for the enthusiast photographer who doesn't aspire to make money from it, because once you turn your hobby into a living, you've lost a hobby. Absolutely. I mean, because that's what I did, and I still love taking pictures, I still love photography, but it's kind of like, instead of getting up at 5 in the morning to go for a walk in the woods with my camera, I tended to only get the camera out when someone's paying me to do it.
Yes.
And actually, since we've been doing these films, I'm enjoying it a lot more, because I'm starting to do photography that interests me rather than just stuff that people pay me to do. So
the opportunity now with digital, it's great fun, and what I'm trying to do is, get those people enjoying their hobby, but also saying to them, like, there's so many things to have a go at, so many different things to try, and actually ignore what people are saying to you in some ways. Like, for instance, some of the people I'm aiming the magazine are club members, or society members, or online Flickr group type members. And people use judges, for instance, as a battering ram, and they talk about the judges in my local camera club didn't like my work, therefore actually I want to do something else. I say, sod the judges, excuse my French, enjoy your hobby.
Exactly.
Yeah, and if you don't enjoy your hobby, take up gardening.
Yes.
And I go, no, enjoy your hobby, because it's a great hobby to be involved in.
It's fantastic, and at the level also your mag's pitching at as well, it's a place where people can get amazing images. And the thing is, as you say, if you like that picture, stick it on the wall and love it. Brilliant. It doesn't matter what anyone else thinks, because it's subjective. Just because a judge doesn't like your picture doesn't mean to say it's a bad picture. It means the judge doesn't like it. That's it, isn't it?
And the thing is, I've judged pictures for years, being on the magazine. I've turned away thousands of people. Well, I've turned away more people than I've accepted in many ways. But that's the way it is. And I've never said, by the way, I'm right. I just have an opinion.
Yeah.
And the thing is, with advances, I just encourage people to take pictures, enjoy the hobby, try different things, buy kit to experiment with as well. There's lots of exciting stuff happening out there. And just trying to get them enthused. And so far, the reception has been, well, you're hitting the mark. And for me, the challenge is to keep on going with that, and actually not be repetitive, and accept that some people will get bored of my magazine eventually as well, because by its very nature. But then we are going to get more people coming up who have done the other magazines.
I think it's a great idea to go with digital SLR for the beginner, and then move on to the next one, and it's all in-house, so if you like the style, it just works.
It just works,
I think that's great. Well, thank you ever so much for taking the time to have a quick chat with us.
No problem.
So that's great. All the best. Cheers, Will. See you later. Bye. We're just walking through here, and some of these pictures really caught my eye, particularly like this one, and this sort of infrared sheep in a field shot. this is the Disabled Photographers Society, which I find fascinating because, you know, it's something which anyone can do. Just because she's disabled doesn't mean you can't be creative. So I thought it'd be interesting just to introduce you to a chap we met a moment ago. Come and meet Mike. Hello.
Hi.
Mike, this is Mike. He's president of Disabled Photographers. Are you society or association?
Society.
Photographers Society.
DPS for short.
Oh, got you. So, how does it? Well, are you a national organisation?
We're a national charity. We exist to try and encourage people with disabilities to take up photography. The idea being that most disabled people have got time on their hands and they want something creative to do. And photography is creative, it's therapeutic, and it keeps people occupied. We will adapt equipment if necessary. If people can't hold cameras, then we'll adapt it. We'll make clamps to go on wheelchairs to hold cameras. We get donations of photographic equipment from people, and that's what you can see on the stand around me. We have a photographic holiday once a year, where we go into a hotel that's fully adapted.
I was going to ask you about that. Sorry to interrupt. I was going to ask you about accessibility because there are lots of shots here that look as though. I mean, I'm guessing there are of course there's all sorts of different levels of disability. So it's like accessibility to the moors and the lakes and mountains, and because there's some amazing images here.
It's quite surprising actually. Most of us take pictures from car windows. You get used to doing it. With a bit of patience, you can do natural history photography, landscape photography, and all sorts. I've got a studio, so I do most of my work in the studio. But I do take landscapes, I take travel photos. It's amazing how far you can get around with just a wheelchair.
Yeah, I know. Now,
But
one of my
obviously, I can't go cross country.
Well, yeah, but of course, then again, there are levels. One of my closest friends on the whole planet is paraplegic.
Yes.
And everyone says Kate's pictures have got something about them. And of course, a lot of it is she sees a lot of the world from a different perspective. I'm always going on at our viewers. Yeah, I'm always saying to people, get down here and shoot from a different angle.
I'm fortunate because I can actually come up and talk to you up there because my chair lifts me up.
Oh, got you. Right. Yeah.
So I can take it low down or high up.
Brilliant.
So I can come up to your level and save the camera keep going up and down.
Fantastic. You can be taller than me in a minute.
I can if you like.
But yeah, Kate has just got an off-road wheelchair. Now, I know they're phenomenally expensive things, and we're lucky enough to have a very close friend who helped her with that. They're not an NHS item, but yeah. This was just wondered if you organise 4x4 trips out into the hills and the way.
We do organise occasional trips for members. They tend not to be in 4x4s because you can't get wheelchairs into 4x4s.
True, yes.
But we have done it, and some of the hotels we go to have wheelchair accessible transport coaches that have a lift out and tie down positions within. But we have an annual exhibition. In fact, this year we've held it in 3 different venues, and all of these pictures you see around the walls here have been in our exhibition.
Gotcha. Do you find, because you're saying a lot of people donate equipment,
Yes.
have you found in the last few years you've suddenly had a great big pile of 35mm kit arriving on your
for
doorstep?
about the last 6 years or so, which is great because there is a lot of interest in analog photography.
Definitely. I'm a big fan of it.
Most of the cameras on this stand are analog, they're film cameras, and we sell them. We sell them all. People can buy the sorts of cameras that they used to dream about in the old days, and they can afford
For
to buy
next
them
to
now.
nothing now.
Yes.
Yeah, I know. I've got 2 D90Xs sitting at home, which I used to use professionally all the time. Well, they're worth 50 quid. Great cameras, nothing wrong with them, it's just nobody wants to buy them anymore. But if anyone's got any old kit they don't want, I'd say this is a great home for it. Mike, it's a pleasure talking to you.
My pleasure.
Let's see if we can do something together as well, because I'm up for seeing if we can help some way.
Good luck, enjoy the rest of the show.
Lovely, thanks Mike.
Bye-bye.
This guy is doing all his clever stuff here on the Sony stand for people to try out the new A55. This is the translucent mirror technology, which Adam mentioned earlier, we've got Paul, who's the technical field sales manager for Sony. So, talk me through what's that? Why would a translucent mirror benefit my life in any way?
So, translucent mirror means that the mirror stays fixed. It doesn't move when you take a picture. We're sharing the light through the camera to take the picture and to provide the live view system, but we're also using a part of the light to register the autofocus. Now, what that really means to the consumer using the camera is that you've got real-time autofocus whilst shooting movie and shooting stills. And the stills can be shot at up to 10 frames per second. So this is a consumer camera
with 10 frames per second
performance,
but also with autofocus during video.
With video and with the stills.
Which is a pretty big deal.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing you've got this chap here doing his, look at this, look at this guy. He's got muscles in places I didn't dream existed. So I mean, he stopped now. I was going to see if we could run 10 frames per second as he's moving and doing stuff. Is he going to carry on?
Yeah.
Here we go.
Can you keep going for us? Because we're doing a piece and you're going to get picked up on this.
Very cool. So what would I do? So I just press the button, yeah?
And you turn the top dial here to 10 frames per second.
So I turn that to
10 frames per second.
Oh, I see. There's a little picture there of 10. So I wind that round here to 10 frames per second.
That's right. The camera is now going to govern everything for you because it has to keep control of the ISO, the shutter speed to be able to do this.
Got you.
And then as you release the camera, it's firing at 10 frames per second.
Got you. I'm going to wait till he starts moving. I've got a best shot here. He's not doing anything much yet. He's doing the dragon or something. I'll tell you what though, I just felt I did squeeze the trigger. I just felt like it's like a machine gun going off,
so
isn't
30 frames in 3 seconds, and the camera's then starting to slow down. But when you just run little bursts like that and just keep shooting and shooting and shooting and shooting.
That's a phenomenal amount, isn't it? So if you want to catch your mates drunk and silly and falling into the swimming pool.
And the thing to remember, this is digital. What you're trying to capture is the precise moment something happens.
Yes.
You know, and within 10 frames per second, let's hope you can achieve that.
Yes. And I mean, you can always throw, because that's the great thing, isn't it? So there we go. I've just got the guy's legs going whoa like that.
Exactly.
How do we play those back?
So you press playback on the back here.
Okay. So the feet, the movement between each frame is minute. But as you kind of, here we go, I need to start at the beginning, which is there. As I roll the wheel and go picture to picture, if I do it quick enough, it's almost like watching a little movie, isn't it? There are so many, so there's about 30 frames of that, isn't there? Of those feet just moving. So when you want to choose the optimum moment, the perfect frame. So for example, there's somebody walking in the background there. If you want to try and get them out of shot, I didn't hold the burst long enough to do it, but nearly, yeah, there we go, look. We've lost that person from frame as the legs are coming up.
If you're somebody with an interest in sports and you want to capture the precise moment, maybe it's your 5-year-old kid in the local football team scores the winning goal, the kid's running around the garden, you know, whatever it might be, where a moment happens in a split of a second, you want to fire off the frames. You can fire off early because you know the subject's going to, the moment is going to occur. Within that collection of images, hopefully you've got the precise moment.
You've got the absolute moment, you can just throw the rest away. I'm kind of, because I've never really been a subscriber to the take millions and hope there's a good one, but in this kind of photography, that is how you have to do it, isn't it?
Digital costs you nothing, does it?
Exactly, that is one of the great plus points, isn't it?
And then on top of that, you can record full HD movie, true 1920 by 1080 movie, high definition in AVC HD format, the same format as used by our camcorders, and that's with full autofocus as well. And that's different to a lot of the other cameras on the market where they're using contrast-based AF, which is very slow and sometimes loses focus. This is phase detection autofocus that's been in development 25 years.
There's no point asking how it finds the face because you'll either blind me with science or else you just say it's a secret. Yes. So, and I mean, this, I guess, is interchangeable lenses.
Totally interchangeable lens.
Much same to DSLR. You can still shoot through the
viewfinder, yeah.
Is that no, it won't be. So that's an electronic. There's a little LCD in the back there.
Yes, it is.
Okay. So this is kind of like the latest hot product from Sony.
Absolutely is.
Excellent. Brilliant. Paul, thank you very much for talking to us and just showing us that. I appreciate that very much. Cheers. Thanks for that. So there you go. If you want to take up a bit of sports photography, kind of, how much is it, Paul?
Something under £700, I would have thought.
Okay, there you go. Sorry, good job you hadn't gone away. Something, if you want to spend something under £700, looks like it's a pretty good choice, doesn't it? Pretty much every photographer in the world has heard of Ephotozine. They are one of the largest photography websites in the world, with, I believe, receiving somewhere in the region of 800,000 unique visitors a week. That's a lot of people. But have you ever been on their site and seen one of their staff members? Are they real? Do they exist? Or are they just a bunch of super cyborgs that twitter around somewhere in hyperspace? I'll shut up because I'm going a bit rubbish. Meet Pete.
Hi.
This man is Ephotozine. Ephotozine was your baby, right from the word go, I believe.
That's right, yeah.
Brilliant.
10 years ago.
10 years ago. Mm-hmm. So what gave you the thought to start Ephotozine?
I'd seen it at that time, the bubble had gone, the electronic bubble, and people were a bit cautious about photography on the web and websites in general. But I thought at that time people were doing CDs on magazines, and I thought there needed to be an extension to that, and I thought there needed to be a photography magazine on the web that gave everything that a normal magazine gave, the interactivity of a community. So I thought, I'm sure I can do that. And not having too much experience in web, got some web guys to help me, and we built a model based around a magazine format for the web, and came to focus 10 years ago to launch it.
That's fantastic. So what is your background? Are you a photography background or a web background?
It's photography background. Web was a completely new thing to me. In photography, I've been doing it, and I've been in the industry for about 25 years. I've launched magazines for EMAP, who are now Bargh. That title is still the most successful on the market. But it was time to change from working for someone to work for myself, and because I knew photography, I knew it inside out, I knew what people would want, and that's what the format was based around.
So how many employees do you have with an 800,000 unique visitor a week website? How many people run it?
There's 8 of us.
8 of you?
Yeah.
100,000 visitors each?
Yeah, something like that.
That's really cool.
Yeah. There's two web developers, 2 advertising staff, 2 editorial, admin and myself.
That's a phenomenal achievement. How long did it take you from like that concept, that thought about we need a magazine online with interactivity, through to actually starting to find it's working? People are coming back, people are buying memberships, and it's generating advertising revenue. Stop that.
The idea concept was October 2010. October 2000, concept development planning. That we came to focus in February the following year, and then in May we launched the real thing. So 7 months.
Really?
Yeah, 7 months. That's to get it going.
That's to get it going.
Yeah.
And then how long to start getting people coming and going, hey, this is good stuff?
Yeah, the plan was to try to get to 100,000 uniques, and it took us, it was in the first 6 months we got to 15,000, another 6 months it was 30,000, and then we started to climb quite significantly, and so it's about a year and a half to get to that magic aim of 100,000. And now, 10 years later, we're on 800,000.
Yeah, I know. That is absolutely phenomenal. I'm an E2 member.
Oh, cool.
So it's like, and I expect many of the people out there probably are as well.
Yeah, well, the E2 bit came about where we wanted to give something extra, but we wanted to make sure it was a commercially viable proposition, because a lot of the features in the early days took a lot to build. And we still pride ourselves in being able to give members exactly what they want. So over the years, they've suggested many things, and we've added those on suggestions. So we have a huge list of things that people want, and every so often we'll drip something else into the feed.
Absolutely, that's the model we use actually, is we say to people, what do you want? And it's great because people feel valued and looked after, don't they? Which is how I feel as a subscriber on your site.
Excellent.
Something which, looking around here as well, we know that there is a bit of a thing going on here with Bright Publishing.
Yes.
The home of Digital SLR User, now Digital SLR Magazine, and others, and yourself. So, not wishing to be premature, but there's obviously a web and print thing going on here.
Yeah, there's a synergy there. I mean, they're very good with magazines. We don't have any newsstand presence. We have the best internet site. Well, I know some.
Yes.
So between us, we can completely cover the entire market from the beginner to the pro in the newsstand and on web. And that is something no one else can do, not in the level that we can.
No.
We've got expertise from both sides.
Absolutely. I think that's fantastic. That's really exciting. So we'll watch this space to see what happens as the future moves on.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of exciting things coming ahead.
Yeah, fantastic. Peter, it was really great. Thanks for talking to us, and it's really nice to be able to put a face to the world that is Ephotozine. So thanks a lot. It's nice talking to you.
Okay.
Nice man, isn't he? So there you have it. That was our day at Focus. I think we've met some really interesting people and looked at a few really interesting things. I hope you guys have enjoyed it as much as I have. Right now I am parched. I'm gagging for a cup of tea, so I'm off to go and score one. See you later.